Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Besties and the Books podcast. I'm Liz.
And I'm Ashley.
And today, we're responding to book-related Am I the A-hole threads on Reddit.
Woo!
Super excited. So buckle up. It's going to be hilarious, or I think it's going to be anyway.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for this episode. And it's the first one we've done like this, so that's also exciting. Also, no book-specific talk today, so no spoilers. Feel free to stick around and just listen to our crazy thoughts on these people's posts.
Yeah.
I think it'll be awesome.
Definitely.
But before we get into that, we just want to say thank you so much for being here.
Yeah. And while you're here, please make sure to follow, subscribe here at Besties and Books podcast. That way you get notified when we post another podcast episode, which is every Tuesday. And
Yay.
you can come hang out with us. If you want to see us do this video, you can watch the playback on YouTube at Besties and the Books podcast as well. And you get some extended content on Instagram and TikTok at Besties and the Books podcast. You know, come hang out with us, come chat, come rate books, come rate Smasher Passes.
Yay.
It's all
Come
good
talk
fun.
to us.
Come talk to
hang
us.
out with us.
Come be our friend, please.
I don't know. Jeez.
Jeez.
So, okay. So before we get into that, faves and fails of the week.
Wait, hang on. I want to make sure we shout out a couple of people that inspired this idea because have you guys seen it? I'm sure you guys have seen it floating around. There is a YouTube channel called Two Hot Takes that does react into Reddit threads, and they have a TikTok as well. And now I don't remember the hilarious. It's just hilarious. Where's my phone? Who am I? Well, I'll link them down in the description box. There's another TikTok group. It's a boy and a girl, and they are just hilarious, and I love their reacting to Reddit threads because they're so funny. And I was like, I want to do one for the book podcast. It seems so fun. I don't know though if there's any that's book related. And I looked it up, and there's a lot. There's a ton of I'm an A-hole book edition. So I'm excited to be able to participate in this. So go check them out too, you guys, and stick around and hang out. No spoilers around here. Round these pots.
Or I'm like, submit your Am I the A-hole questions to us later.
Yeah, you might want to DM us that one. I'm sure, you know, if you don't put it in the comments because that spoils it for everybody else.
We'll put it on Instagram. I feel like we get the best. Like, if you guys aren't over there, just so you know, like, we did a tell us about your worst date. Tell us the craziest things that someone said to you on your first date. Yeah, on Instagram. We get some hilarious stories over there that we share them anonymously.
Yeah.
So, please come over there. Please share your stories with us. They're really funny.
Yeah.
Love
so
it.
if you have an A-hole inspired book, not question, but like, well, yeah, I guess it is, but like even just a A-hole scenario that you would like us to react to, you know, like, oh, my boyfriend fed all my books to my dog, you know, something like that, then send it to us on DMs and we'll do an episode if we get enough of them. It'll be so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does sound fun.
Yeah.
Okay. So faves and fails of the week. This week we're going to do audiobooks.
Yeah. Sounds good.
I'm excited for this.
Let's do it.
So why don't you go first this time?
Okay, sure. So
Okay, all right, let's hear it.
Fave audiobook, what should we say? I only just started recently listening to audiobooks in the fall, so like 6 months ago or so. So my fave one so far is actually it's called Three Pianos by Andrew McMahon. He is the singer and most songwriter of Something Corporate, Andrew McMahon in the Wilderness. He had another band called Jack's Mannequin. There you go. And he did an audiobook about, you know, like his life. What are those called? A memoir. And he actually narrates it. Just love what I want to say is memoirs actually when the person that it's about is able to read them. You know, it just makes you feel like you're in it with them. And the way he wrote it was just so beautifully written. It's not sing-songy. What is it? Oh, like a lyrical genius, my husband said. But like, I don't know how. He just has a way with words. You have a way with words, but it's just very, it's very pretty. It's really well done. It's really good. And you find out more. So yeah, if you want to read that, I say that because I finally got around to listen to the Britney Spears memoir. And while it was good, she doesn't narrate it. Now I understand because there's a lot of trauma surrounding everything and you understand why she's not reading it, but it just feels different when the person is still living and they can actually read it.
It totally does.
So like Matthew McConaughey's was amazing too. So that was definitely another fave of mine. Like I think just listening to memoirs in general that the person reads it is a fave audiobook of mine, generally speaking. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome.
My fail is a very popular book. So it's one that I'll have to see if I can read it instead because I literally gave up on it. And I'm going to get some heat for this, but that's all right. Come in with the best shot. That's okay. It's Kingdom of the Wicked. I believe that was the first in the series.
I mean, okay, so I have to interject a little bit here. So the reason why I haven't started that series is because I've heard really mixed reviews about the books in general. Not just the audio, but like the books in general. Okay. So I've been hesitant to bump that up on my TBR for that reason. So I'd be curious to see.
Yeah. I got like 20% into it and I was just like, I just don't want to put this on. So it was one of my biggest audiobook fails so far. And it was the narrator, it was the story so far, like everything about it I just couldn't really get into. So let us know if you feel like it's worth the power through. Audio not for me, but like actual physical book. We'd like to take a poll of that and see who has liked it. Because there's a lot. There's like 3 or 4 books now of it. Yeah.
Yeah. I heard, this is just what I heard. Okay, I haven't read them. This is just what I've heard from talking to people, that they actually progressively get worse.
Oh, well.
So it's like the opposite of like what book, like it usually happens in fantasy books where it's like the first one might be a little slow and then they gradually get better. I've actually heard it goes the opposite direction. So I don't know. Like, do you have a different opinion? Let us know.
There was like literally nothing I could like enjoy about it so far with that 20% in. I was like, there's nothing that makes me want to continue. Usually there's something that you're like, oh, well, okay.
Yeah,
there's
like nothing. A little nugget of something.
There's like a lady and her family cooks and stuff.
That's it. Okay, 20%. I mean,
there's fantastical elements going on and demon elements, but it was just like, I don't know. I didn't like it.
Yeah. So, okay. So all right. Are we doing like our favorite audiobook of all time?
No. Let's say the last 6 months. Because I was
like, of the last 6 months. Yeah. Okay. Because I was like, I have been listening to Audible religiously for probably at least like 7 years. Yeah. So I'm like, I would really
both of these
really
were
go into the archives.
Yeah.
There.
Both of these for me were in December. So that's 6 months. Okay. Yeah, let's say 6 months. I think that's fair.
Okay. So that being said, all right. My favorite audiobook. I know. I'm like, seriously, there's so many in there, guys.
Fall under D for donut. There we go.
Donut. Yeah. And anyone who gets that joke,
we love you.
Let us know. Yeah. You're our people for real.
R.I.P.
Okay, I know, right? R.I.P. Moment of silence. So, speaking of which, this is not related at all, but I feel like I need to tell you, and maybe we need to read it together at some point. Maria Bamford wrote a book. Did you know that?
I didn't know that. Oh my gosh.
She wrote a memoir, and we need to read
hope she narrates it.
She probably does.
Oh my
we should
gosh.
listen to it and report back. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's just a side tangent. I haven't listened to that yet. Kids. Yeah, if you love Maria Bamford.
These are all comedians we're referencing.
You're also our people, for real. My favorite audiobook of the last 6 months would be, and I kind of gave it a shout out in another episode too, was Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune. So the thing about this audiobook is it's all narrated by one person. And he does all of the voices of every character, and that can sometimes go terribly wrong. Yeah. Especially in a book that is fiction, right? Like, oh my gosh, like, is this going to be corny? Is it going to ruin it? Take me out of the story? No, it was like every voice he did. Like this guy, I was talking to my husband about it, or maybe it was you. I don't remember. I was talking to someone where I was like, is there awards? Is there the Emmys for book? You know what I mean? Like in book narration, like he should win it. It was so good.
Wow.
It was so good. So anyway, yeah, that was my favorite audiobook of late.
Yeah.
I guess you could say. I did want to give a special shout out though, because when I was thinking of like audiobooks, and I was like, wait, am I supposed to do this of recently or am I supposed to do this of all time? it came up, like, I was thinking about it, and I was like, for anyone who hasn't, especially, like, I don't even know if you've read this or not, for anyone who hasn't listened to the audiobook version of Trevor Noah's book, Born a Crime, it's so good. And if I had to choose one audiobook that's probably the best that I've ever read, it would probably be, like, that would be up there for real. Like, maybe number one. It's so good. He's so funny, but so talented.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's also just like a really, really, really good book.
I should read it. Yeah. I like listening to memoirs. It's becoming my sweet spot.
Me too.
For audiobooks. So
I feel like that's all I really listened to with audiobooks before I started listening to like dark romance stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty much.
Yeah, I can't do
like the main.
Hey, did you listen to the audiobook of Hooked?
Yeah.
You liked it?
I love
because he does Wendy's voice sometimes, and it was so bad.
I mean, you gotta just kind of like, here's the thing.
And she came up to me. Oh, Hook.
Am I willing to overlook Wendy's voice? Because the guy who narrates James.
Oh, Wendy was driving me crazy. James' voice was fine until he tries to do Wendy's voice.
Yeah.
Like,
no,
what?
James.
This can't be real right now.
I'm sorry, but that man can do no wrong.
Okay.
Like, I don't even care. I loved it. I ate it up. It was great.
I don't think I can do any like dark romance or anything like that audiobook anymore. I think I've drawn the line in my sand because I can't take it seriously enough. Like, I'm like, this is just, I can't do it. It's not for me.
I think the key with like dark romance too, though, is that a lot of the audiobooks now are doing like, there's a guy narrator and a girl narrator, and then they go back and forth actually in the dialogue.
Yeah, that's
and
what they have
whatnot.
to do, I think.
Yeah. So I feel like that's obviously a lot better than the guy doing the girl's voice, the girl doing the guy's voice, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
there you go.
I'm totally blanking out on what my fail was on my book because I didn't include it in here.
It was really bad. I can tell you that. You failed so hard, you left your brain.
Okay, so I've listened to a lot of good audiobooks lately. I think the reason why I had a hard time finding a fail was because of the fact that if I start an audiobook and the voice is not immediately good to me, I'll return it and get a new one.
Yeah.
So and read it, just regular read it. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I think that's why, because I'm so turned off by weird voices that I just don't even bother anymore. I'm like, okay, goodbye. You're done. So the closest you're dead to me. The closest I have to a fail, I'd say, if I really thought about it in the last 6 months, would be Crossed by Emily McIntyre. And not because that book wasn't good. I really liked the book. I've listened to all of her other ones on audio. We were just talking about Hooked, which is, I can't believe I didn't even remember it. Okay, so
that's the one.
I know. The reason why is this. Okay, so the reason why, like, I love Hooked, James has, like, an English accent, kind of, right? Like, that's what's going on. Okay, so in Crossed, he has a French accent, and he's not a bad narrator. I don't think that he does a bad job. I just feel like for some reason, like a guy who you're supposed to like because it's in this dark romance setting who sounds really French just doesn't do it for me. Yeah. And so I had a really hard time like connecting with that voice, even though I felt like the narration was fine and the book was good.
Yeah.
So was it a fail? No, but like if I could have cast him as literally any of the other people, I would have appreciated that more.
Well, I'm sure just like how English is in Europe, there's like different dialects, just like Americans. We have different dialects. You can have an English, or American accent, but is it from this part of the US or this part of the US? I'm sure it's the same with French, where it's like it doesn't quite, get you going.
No, and it was like very French, like very like, I don't even know if the narrator is actually French or if it was a guy, I should look it up, a guy doing an accent, you know what I mean? Because that may have made it sound weirder to me.
Yeah, like cartoony almost?
I don't know. Yeah, kind of like just really like, we get it, you know what I mean?
Was this the Hunchback of Notre Dame retelling?
Yeah.
That guy's so creepy too, so it's like,
I mean, I pictured him fine in my head. Yeah. It was just, I think that was also part of the problem. It was like, I was picturing him fine, and then his voice would come out and I'd be like,
Yeah.
I don't know about that. Yeah. So like I said, not a fail of a book by any means, at all. Still recommend it. Still 4 stars. But yeah, the audio just didn't really do it for me.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
There you go. So there you go, guys. Let us know what your faves and fails audiobooks have been.
Yeah,
Recommend to us.
I really, appreciate, and gosh, I really appreciate a good dark romance audiobook. So please send them my way. I'm listening to, what is it called again? I can't remember. Like bad, dark thing. I don't know. I'm blanking out on what it's called. But anyways, I'm listening to a really, really good one right now, and I'm really enjoying it. I wish I could remember what it was called. Lovely Bad Things. It's part of a trilogy, so I'm going to probably continue it. But yeah, that is good so far, audiobook. But I need more. I need more options. Okay, so should we get into responding to our Am I the A-hole Reddit threads?
Yeah. Book edition.
All right.
Let's
do it.
Book
edition.
So if you are on our YouTube, you can actually, comment along with us if you would like and see what you think, if this person would be the a-hole or not. Or we should probably put them up. Maybe we'll put them up too on Instagram. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how we feel. Let's start with this one. This sounds fun, so let us know what you think and we will tell you what we think. Am I the a-hole for refusing to buy my girlfriend's book? So my girlfriend, we live together, wrote, sold, and published her very first book. I think that...
Oh my God! I already have so many opinions.
I know.
Wait, what?
I know.
Okay, all right.
I
thought you meant like they were on a date at Barnes and Noble and like he didn't buy it for her, and I was like, that could go either way. Okay, all right.
And
continue.
you know what? Okay, let's react to that. Just title alone. Yes, you're the a-hole. Buy the book. It's not that expensive. Just buy the book.
Honestly, like, whatever. Yeah, exactly. Okay, but no, it goes way deeper than that. I see. Okay, all right.
Okay. Buy the Barnes & Noble's book, though. You're on a date. Just treat her good.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
But also, even more so, my girlfriend, you know how hard it is to write, sell, and publish your first book? Buy the book. Dang it.
Jeez.
Okay. Let's continue. I think that it is amazing, and I'm very proud of her. I believe that it was very supportive. I believe that I was very supportive, participated in beta reading, had my hand in text editing, and then here is an edit. I did some changes in every single page, a lot of suggestions, editing. I do not want to undermine what she did, but I really did spend a lot of time on this. Continues. Okay. And I gave her a bunch of praise and critique. We celebrated when she sold the book to the publisher and all. Wow, she even got a publisher. So it's not like, that's like another level too. Okay.
Yeah.
And all. So I don't believe that I was unsupportive. However, she got very angry today because I refused to buy a physical copy of the book. I said that I just don't get this. We live together. What? Her argument is, it's literally written like that. We live in a small country and every copy sold matters and I should show support. I replied that readers should buy her book, not her partner. Anywho, am I the a-hole?
Yeah.
Yeah. You are. Congratulations. Here's your award. Dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's unravel this, shall we?
I can't even. Oh my God. It made I can't when it took that turn, I just couldn't even believe it. I was like, how is this a question?
Come on. Listen, you're gonna get a copy. You're she's gonna give you one anyway. You should just buy the book. Why are you making this? Why is this the hill that you're gonna die on in your relationship? Not only, but why don't you want to buy the book? Every copy sold makes a difference for the publishing, like she said.
Totally.
You see those stickers on books sometimes. 1 million copies sold. It helps in so many ways. But even if, say she gave you a freaking whole box full of them, you buy that book and you give it to somebody else to read.
Yeah,
who cares if you've read it a million times? I'm sorry, sir. No. You are the a-hole. In my book. Yeah,
it's just, I completely agree. I feel like it's not even necessarily, although the numbers do matter to the publisher, maybe, if her book does really well and she gets the sales they want, she'll get another deal for a future book. You could be helping out her career moving forward. But I think further than that, what it's really about is you are going out of your way to make sure that you're not supporting her book sales, which is really weird. And is just, I think makes you a total a-hole. I know that, anytime I have like a friend who would choose to support my business, whether it means coming in and having an appointment or buying a product or whatever, like it means the world to me, even though like I don't expect it. You know what I mean? Like as a business owner, it's the same thing. Like it's the same exact thing. Like you're just supporting your partner's dream and endeavors.
Yeah, it's not, and it's not like, it's, I can't justify it. Like I can't. I'm trying to think of ways to justify it and be devil's advocate, but you can't, because it's like, what is it reminds me of that quote from Arrested Development. What does a banana cost? $20? Like what does a paperback book cost? $15? Most of them, $30 if it's hardback at the most, and you can't throw that cash around. And in the amount of time they spent justifying this means that they knew, like, all the reasons why they're listing, well, I should be able to do that, kind of tells you, oh, you know that you should have done it. You're trying to justify this by not doing it. But
totally.
I'm curious to know if anybody thinks that he doesn't get the a-hole reward for that. It doesn't cost that much to support your friend, or your girlfriend, for crying out loud, that you live with.
Like, it's like, I get it, but like, if he was an alpha reader or whatever he said and like helped out, like that's even more reason to want to buy the book when it comes out, because you know how much work went into having to publish it.
And don't you want to like keep that and like remember, like, this is my girlfriend's first book. It's like, do you care? I don't know. That's crazy, man.
That would like, and then it's like, that's something you can't come back from. Also, I think is the other thing, because it's like, even if he goes and buys it now, she will forever know. Yeah, well, she had to convince him to buy it. Exactly. That he didn't care enough to buy it, and so now it's, like, ruined. You know what I mean? It's, like, something that you should just want to inherently do. If any of my friends or family members wrote a book and published it, I would be, like, buying it. I'd be buying it and gifting it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you can gift it, And he didn't even say that. Well, I already have a copy. He didn't even mention having a final copy.
Oh, great. So your parents have a copy? Does everyone have a copy?
He didn't even mention that. So as far as I'm reading, what information we know is he doesn't even have a final copy. So that makes it all the more weirder. And if he does, gift it to somebody else. Help spread the word. Buy it and put it in one of those cute little birdhouse book libraries that are in communities.
Yeah, exactly. Make sure your local library has a copy.
Donate it to your local library. Golly. You know?
Golly.
It takes a lot of work to be an a-hole sometimes, and this guy is putting in the work.
Yeah, it's totally. So like you said, he's dying on that hill.
Show support, Yeah.
Okay. So, well, it's good that I think we'll probably all be in agreement with that. But you know what? If you're not and you tell us, then I'd like to see the opposing perspective. Please tell us what you think.
All right.
Okay. Well, that's a case closed.
Case closed.
If I ever did see one. Open and shut. Okay. So, all right. This one is a little bit like their actual post is a little bit long, so
that's all
just bear with me here. But I wanted to stick with the book club theme since we host a book club. And I thought it would be funny just to see like what book club problems people have. Because it's like a very like non-problematic thing in our lives. So I'm like, how do people make it such a big deal? Okay, so anyway.
Let's find out.
Can't wait. So am I the a-hole for refusing to leave the house during my wife's book club? Okay, so my wife has a weekly book club with her friends, and why is this pop-up happening? Okay, and I'm really happy that she takes the time to enjoy her hobbies and connect with friends. The issue is that she volunteered to host the club in our home, and I'm not allowed to be there while they're meeting. While I don't mind busying myself for an hour once in a while, they meet weekly for 3 to 4 hours at a time. Yeah. Okay, so it gets better. She says there's this is in quotes, no men rule because the women share private things with each other, which I understand and respect, but I also don't think it's fair to them for them to expect me to get kicked out of my own home for most of my weekend, especially since I work 6 days a week. We both work, but I work more days, and I only have that one Saturday off. I also prefer to spend the extra time playing video games, so it's not like I can just take my computer to Starbucks with me. I've offered to put on headphones and stay in the bedroom, but she says the women will still, and this is also in quotes, feel my presence. I've asked if the women could take turns hosting, but she says all of the women have reasons why they can't host, including, which I thought was kind of irritating, some of their husbands not wanting to leave the home for so many hours. I've also asked if they could meet at a coffee shop and even offered to help pay for them to rent a meeting room somewhere.
Wow.
But she said they felt more comfortable in a home. This has been going on for 2 months now, and last week I told my wife I couldn't keep this up anymore and she had to find a solution herself because I've given her so many options already and gave her the heads up that I wasn't leaving this weekend. I think she thought I was bluffing, but come Saturday I stayed home. Out of respect, I stayed in the bedroom when everyone came over, but they knew I was there and I could tell the meeting got cut short because of that. My wife and I had a huge row afterwards is what it says, but I'm assuming that means a fight, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
And here we are now. She's not talking to me and I'm pretty pissed and I'm not sure who's really in the wrong here.
Well, that was a roller coaster of emotions.
Jeez.
I'm like, a-hole, not a-hole, a-hole, not a-hole. Okay.
I mean, I think she's being the a-hole.
Yeah. He's trying to compromise and she is not having it. Like, he's offering to pay to go somewhere else.
For a meeting room. That's crazy.
I was like, at first I'm like, come on, it's like an hour, once a month. Is it that big of a deal? That's where I'm
it's
like,
once a week
yeah, you're being
for like
an
3
a-hole.
hours?
Once a week for 3 hours? My gosh, I don't want anybody in my home that often. Even if I'm the one hosting. That's too much.
Dude. Yeah, I mean, I feel like, I don't know, thinking about like it in terms of, I mean, I have girls' nights at my house and my husband is here. He just goes in the bedroom and watches TV. I don't know why that's such a big deal.
Yeah, it's being a little, the lady who's the a-hole is the wife.
Yeah, 100%.
She's kind of being an a-hole about it. Like, I get everybody needs to have their time. That's asking a little much, I think. Especially if it's the weekends. It's his only time to, like, freaking chill. Oh, I got to go leave for 4 hours every Saturday?
So long, every Saturday.
That's kind of a lot.
I like how he's like, so you guys can't have it at anyone else's houses because their husbands aren't cool with it? Awesome.
Yeah.
Great.
So not obviously everybody else feels this way too. Have it on rotation then. That would be the best compromise.
Yeah.
Everybody's got to suffer once a month. Okay, take different turns. Also, that's a lot. That's a lot. So, not the a-hole. And the wife is the a-hole.
At this point, it's like, are you really like, is this even a book club now?
No, that's a socialization. Not even hours. That's a long time.
Yeah, it's like, we get it. You just want to like, I mean, I'm being judgy, but you just want to drink wine in the comfort of your own home and talk crap about your husbands. That's what you're doing.
That's probably what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, be real. If it's a book club, like, guess what? Like, I don't know. My husband would be like, talk about books all night. I don't care about that. I'm going to go do something else. You know what I mean? Like, in the other room. Like, that's so weird.
Yeah. Yeah, he came up with all the ways to compromise and not having it. It's like, well, then that makes it feel weird. That makes it feel like it's something else that's going on. Then he gets a little sus. Okay. All right.
So
Stamped.
That was a little bit more. Yeah, exactly. That was a little bit more up and down, but case closed. Yeah. He is not the a-hole. Your wife is the a-hole.
Yeah. You're doing your best.
You heard it here first. Yep. Okay. What do you got?
Okay, let's see. Am I the a-hole for giving out my mom's book collection? Yes. Without anything
for
further.
Giving it out? What does that mean? Just like giving it away?
That's what I'm taking it as. But let's find out more, shall we? Okay. My mom has had a bunch of trilogies and fantasy novel book sets for years. Some she read as a little girl, others as a teen or while growing up. They're her favorite genre, and she has a whole shelf dedicated to them, which she placed in what she calls the kids' library. My siblings and I have read them just once each, but Mom occasionally reads them again. That's so cute. Okay, I love that. Love that for her. My friend,
it's her collection.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. So far, not seeing his point, but let's continue. My friend and I were talking about books, and he mentioned how much he is into fantasy novels. He got really excited when I told him about the shelf in the house and wanted to check it out. He used to come around to read, but it got to a point where I gave him some to take home. He always returned it, but before school shut down due to COVID, I gave him 3 different book sets. So that's kind of a lot. He lost his dad to COVID.
Oh, I thought you were going to... Okay, that's also sad.
Yeah. And
I thought you were going to say he lost all the books.
He lost all of them. 3 sets of books gone. This is why I don't lend my books, is for these particular reasons. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So he lost his dad from COVID, and the whole family moved away. I obviously wasn't thinking about books at the time. Oof, that's tricky. Recently, my mom felt like reading one of her books and realized there was a huge space in the shelf missing. How many of us would go that long without realizing it, though?
I know,
like,
right?
Wait,
I know.
What? 3 sets? It's a lot. She got mad when I told her about it and yelled at me for hours. She told me to either pay for my friend to ship them back or replace them with my own money. I said I wouldn't because they're for kids. Oh, no. And technically, this is where it takes a turn. We're the kids in the house, and we're the kids in the house, so they're ours. What?
Oh.
She turned the second largest room in the house into a library just for her and my dad's books. We've been getting books as presents instead of normal kids stuff, but she's been trying to turn us into avid readers just like my dad and her. And she succeeded with my siblings, so I don't get why she won't stand. It's blocked. Something with me. We've all read books and won't read them again. She has ebooks of them as well. She's threatening to take money out of our bank accounts to pay for the books to get her fresh copies, even though she bought them all secondhand originally. Am I really the a-hole here? She always calls the books in our library ours, so we have the right to use them as we please. Am I the a-hole? Okay. Another roller coaster. I thought this was going to be a shoo-in.
I don't think that they were an a-hole for lending them out. I think that they're being one now for being like, I'm not even going to try to get them back from my friend. Like, I'm just going to be like, whatever.
Like, you're not going to try? You're not going to ask? Like, we're going to pay to ship it? Like, I understand there was a loss in the family. It sounds like it's been some time now. Like, it's not that it's ever, like, a good time, but it's not, you're not bringing up anything traumatic, you know? You're just saying, hey, I know you moved. You know, do you happen to have those books back? My mom really wants them back. They're collector's pieces for her. I'll pay for the shipping. No biggie.
Done.
And then
you're
dragging your... And they didn't mention whether they asked to lend them out outside of the family, because a lot of us that love our books have feelings on lending books. So that's sticky. Yeah, you should try your best to get them back and replace them. Why are you being weird about it? Why are you making it weird? Now you're
and then saying like they're mine, so like they were mine anyway. You have enough books because they're kids' books. Like no, maybe they're like I have kids' books, but they're like very sentimental to me. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. That's sad. Oh, I feel bad for her. I hope she got her books.
So either way, I don't think the mom is in the wrong here. I think that the mom has every right to be upset that they were lent out without her permission. But then even more so to be upset. He's not even saying
she's upset about that. She's just upset that he hasn't gotten them back. Like, try. Go try. Yeah, and then you're like, no. Like, So yeah, she should take. I would say that to my kids. Okay, I'm going to take money out of your account. I'm going to go buy it. Yeah. If my kids are messing around with something expensive in the house and you break it, then you're going to be paying for that. And then they get quiet real quick and they stop messing with the things, you know?
You lent it out without my permission. It's one thing, too, if, like, you would have had my permission and then something happened to them. Okay, well, accidents happen. You lent them out without my permission, and now you don't want to even try to get them back? Like, what? Who are you?
Because you think that they're stupid? Well, you know, it's like, oh, what if...
It's not up to you.
He plays video games. What if it's like, oh, I'm going to lend out all your collection of whatever freaking, I don't know, video games.
Yeah, me neither.
All your Shooter McGavin games. And I didn't give my friend's son moved away. Sorry, you didn't get him back. They're like $50 a game. So
I'm not going to do anything to get him back either.
Sometimes
screw you.
It's good in these situations to think to yourself, if the roles were reversed, how would I feel? You know? And I bet that kid would be pissed. You know? Everybody collects stuff. Let's say that right here, right now.
It's like, do you ever listen to Taylor Tomlinson, the stand-up comedian?
No, I don't think so. It doesn't ring a bell.
She's amazing. I'm sure like a lot of people listen to her, but I had just like reposted a little clip where she was talking about explaining empathy to like a handsome, tall white man. And she was like, well, imagine for a second that you're me.
Yeah.
But I'm not you. And it's like, that's exactly how I'm like picturing this conversation going. But they're stupid. Like, I don't know why you care so much. But it's like the same thing. It's like, just put yourself in my shoes, but I'm not in your shoes.
But like, flip the things around if that helps. Like, imagine name whatever favorite thing you love. And I just was careless about it like that. How would you feel? Well, I'd be pissed. But it's different. Yeah. But it's not different.
But it's different, you know? Yeah.
Okay. All right. Hit us with another book club. A-hole.
Okay. All right. So, am I the a-hole for asking the women in my book club to read the book?
Well, let's find out more. I don't know. Not enough context yet.
Okay. Funny. I have been in a book club for several years. On occasion, someone wouldn't read the book, would only read part of it, or decide they hate it and not finish it. But all of the members read the book most of the time. About a year ago, our numbers got very low and we decided to find some other women to join. One of the women in another organization that a couple of us belonged to was interested. This snowballed and suddenly several women wanted to join, overriding the original members. So that's already weird. You know what I mean? It's like, how did this happen? Okay. So this would be fine, except in a year of being in the book club, a number of these women has never once read or even bought or checked the book out from the library.
Oh, that's weird. Yeah.
Granted, there has always been a large social aspect. We drink wine, eat appetizers, and gossip, but we still talk about the book. The last meeting, those of us that read the book had a lot to discuss as it was a very interesting book, but one group of women who did not read the book left the house and went outside as they had nothing to contribute. Several of us seem to have the same idea that these women need to read the book or not be in the book club. At least 3 of us told these women they need to read the book, as this is a book club. Every month they say they do not have time to get or read the books as they are too busy. All of them are retired, whereas almost all the readers have part or full-time jobs. The non-readers ended up leaving early. The readers have offered to do a night out separate from the club, but there has been minimal response. Are we the a-holes for requiring them to read the book?
Not the a-hole. No. It is a book club.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought. Thought.
Does nobody feel social pressures like I do? Like a social obligation? Like, come on.
I don't know. I just kind of thought, like, why are you here? Like, then why are you here?
Why
like,
are you
do something
she doesn't
else?
even go to the school, you know?
No, it's like a classic, like, you don't want to start a drinking club, and so you came to my book club. Like, that's what I feel like. You know what I mean? Like, it's so annoying.
Like, just go hang out with girlfriends. Go have a girls' night. Do that. Call it girls' night. It's not, doesn't have to be that hard. Like, come on. Yeah, that's weird. The poster is not the a-hole. The people crashing the book club are the a-holes. That's what they're doing, because it's like maybe like one time, but you've already like built a relationship and you really want to hear about this book, and that's what's surrounding. When it's basically sounding like people are getting there, they're just drinking, they're partying, and then this group keeps trying to split off to talk about the book because that's what the whole point is.
Yeah, that's weird. When you have to
have a separate thing.
Yeah, when you have to like, well, it sounds like their book club got taken over.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is really weird, because I'd be like, how did this happen? Like, we started it, but okay. And then it sounds like they almost have to, like, split off and, like, do a subgroup within the book club just to be able to talk about the book, which is the whole reason why supposedly you're there. Yeah, it's like, if every once in a while you don't have time to read the book, or you DNF'd it because you really didn't like it or something, it's like, that's fine. That's fine. But, like, if you just never read the books, I don't know.
I would just literally either stop going and make a new one, or just tell the people we're making a new one. We're not doing this. Like, I don't know. It sounds like it's been going on for a while too. I don't have that kind of patience. I do not care. I am bye.
Yeah, it's like, or you guys can keep this book club. I'm doing air quotes. You can keep your book club, and we're going to start a different book club.
You can keep your book club and shove it up your no.
Yeah, exactly.
That's yeah. There you go. Let us know how you guys feel about that. Can book clubs not actually be book clubs? And it's still called it.
We had one reason why we were here. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. It's a social time too, but it's like, it's the point. Otherwise you're just hanging out, which is fine, but then just call it that, you know?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. All right. And for my last one, here we go. Am I the a-hole for not telling my niece the protagonist dies in the final book? Just all around. All around.
Yeah.
Let's think on this. Okay, let's hear some more. She, 13, has been reading through a book series for some time now, ever since I bought her the first book as a birthday gift back in September. Love that. There are about 30 books in a very long series. Yeah. Anyways, she started reading the final book last week. I didn't tell her that one of the two main characters is going to die. I know she has grown quite fond of him, but figured it is best to avoid spoilers. What happened yesterday was that she got really upset and told me I should have given her a warning first. My brother also said I should have let her know so she can prepare for the bad ending.
Yeah. Well, I would say I disagree.
Yeah. That they are an a-hole. That you disagree that they are the a-hole.
I don't think that they are at all. I would not ever want anyone to tell me something like that if I was reading books. I get that she's younger, but like still, even so.
I say, hey, little buckaroo, welcome to reading. This is the point. Okay? Hey,
to reading. Welcome
you're 13.
To the real world.
Welcome
Just
to
kidding.
The real world. Let's go. Like, that's kind of the whole thing. Wasn't like a whole generation scarred between like a very well-loved book from someone dying? Like, you're not supposed to know what happens. That's why you read a book.
No. Exactly. Like, that ruins it. I don't know.
Listen.
She needs to know because she needs to not just go around. What if she's going around ruining books for everybody else?
Yeah, she's probably... Let you guys let us know. What do you think? Do you think that you should spoil a book even... like for 13-year-olds, if they've grown fond of somebody, well, be careful because they die. No matter what, that information would also, even if this person that posted said that to her, like, well, just so you know, the character dies, that would still be a jarring truth bomb. Whether you read it or you're told it, you're still like, oh my gosh. Like, it's not going to change knowing the information. It's not going to change the ending. It's not going to, know? So, listen, I don't think they're the a-hole either for not telling them. That's the whole point of reading in my book. And I have made the mistake that Phoebe's mother has done with my first child, my firstborn, where I would, kind of scroll past the evil parts and the Bambi dying, and maybe not that one specifically, but like then when she does watch crazy stuff, well, actually what it really is then I watch what she's watching and I'm like, whoa, this is way crazier. She's like almost 9 now, but it's like that villain is way scarier than the villain I was fast forwarding through when you were 5, So, let the kids digest it as they will, as long as it's appropriate, obviously. Age appropriate,
Yeah, if these are kids' books, you know what I mean? This is a kids' book series, then let them discover as it's meant to be discovered.
Yes. Final answer.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree. Final answer. We're locking it in.
Lock and load. Mm-hmm. All right.
Lock and load. Okay, so my last one... This is interesting. I'm really curious to hear your take on this. So this one isn't a book club one. It's just a random because I need to know what you think. I need to know what you guys think. Okay. So am I the a-hole for putting my foot down and asking my wife to read in chunks?
What does that mean?
Exactly. Well, just wait. Okay. My wife is a very avid reader. Mm-hmm. She tends to pick up these thick-ass books like Crime and Punishment and Les Mis and kind of fixate on them to the point where she only takes breaks to eat or use the restroom.
Relatable.
Yeah, exactly. Normally, this isn't really a problem because I'll just watch, TV with our kids and she really... Sorry, this isn't written super well. Yeah. And she really only does this on weekends when there isn't really much to do. In fact, she's considerate enough to meal prep and clean the house beforehand, so she gets to read.
Oh, cool. Nice.
Okay.
We love that for her.
Sounds great.
More organized than I am. When I fall into my black hole of books.
It's like, goodbye, world. Yeah.
Good luck. Goodbye.
Good luck.
Goodbye,
good luck, husband.
Yeah.
Okay. The issue is that social events inevitably go by the wayside. I am in a job that requires lots of networking and depends on my image and the image of my family, so I'm constantly struggling with this habit. She ends up coming, but then downloading the book on her phone like a 13-year-old. Everyone looked at her so weird when we went to a gala a few days ago. She wouldn't socialize and make conversation, and this was a black tie event. I'm pretty sure my coworkers were laughing at me because all the other wives were socializing, and she was just sitting in the corner. When we got home, I told her that her habit of putting aside everything to fixate on this hobby was not sustainable. I explained that as my wife, she has responsibilities beyond simply finishing her chores ahead of time, and that I can't keep going to social events either alone or with a disengaged wife. I even paid for babysitters, so I told her she needed to grow up and read like normal people do in blocks of time. But she got really offended and said that I don't have a right to tell her what to do with her weekends, which I think is ridiculous because I'm her husband and I shouldn't have to beg for some kind of attention from my own wife.
Well, this is a sticky one, guys.
It's a sticky one.
It is.
I know. That's why I wanted to bring it up.
It's sticky because, there's going to be a lot of different opinions on this, and that's okay. We're okay with that. Yeah. Everybody's going to feel different vibes. And I was a bit of a roller coaster because it's like totally relatable. We fall into that black hole. I mean, and you know, you're talking to the ladies that downloaded House of Flame and Shadow when we're reading it on our phones, on our Kindles at Disneyland.
Yeah.
But we had a goal.
But we were both doing it
and
together, we're both into it.
And we're like literally reading chapter by chapter, reacting to it together. Now, if I went, let's do that devil's advocate thing. Now, if we were at Disneyland hanging out and with people or with not, whatever, say we're with the group and Liz is in the corner, you know, reading, even in line while everybody else is having fun and you're just reading your book alone, I might get kind of irritated, you know?
Yeah, or think about it this way. If you were at Disneyland, not with me, but like if I was with my husband or you were with your husband.
Yeah.
Then would you just sit there on your phone and just like read your book the whole time? No, you know. So, okay, this is what I think. This was because I had to think about this for a second. Do I think that he's an a-hole for asking his wife to read in chunks? Because that's how he phrased it. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Because I don't think you should try to dictate the manner in which your wife reads her books. Yeah. That's cuckoo. That's so subjective. What's a chunk?
Yeah, exactly.
You know
what I mean. Like, what do you mean by that? Like,
yeah. It's like, I always joke around with my husband because one time we were flying and we were going through security and the security guy asked us if we were traveling with any large food.
Okay. Well, yeah, what do you consider large?
That's what I said. I was like, do you mean like a bag of chips or is it like one individual chip? That's what I asked. I was like, because that could be small or large. And he was like, it's fine. You're fine. And I'm like, okay, what a weird question.
Like, am I carrying a ham hock or a slice of ham? Like, what's
exactly.
happening?
Like, you got to be more specific. So yeah, I feel like that's the problem with something like asking her to read in chunks. It's like, okay, a chunk to me might be 300 pages. So we'll be here for a while. Yeah. A chunk to you might be 20 pages. You know what I mean? It's like... So, yes, do I think that he is being an a-hole by asking her to not read her book when they're at social events? No. I think that's perfectly acceptable to, like, ask your wife to be engaged if you're at a social event.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or, like, even, like, a date or something. It's like my husband and I, we have kind of, like, a rule that we do not have phones out when we're at dinner together.
Yeah.
Unless it's like, you know, we're going to a movie after dinner and we have to like look up what the next time is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, other than that, like, no, we keep our phones put away because we want to make sure that we're like engaged with each other. It's kind of like the same thing. It's like, I wouldn't just bring my book out and start reading it.
Yeah. He probably doesn't want to be at the event either. Like he says it's for his job. Like he has to do it, you know? So you guys kind of got to suffer together a little bit. But listen, she is living our dream. Like that is what we all want to do. We would all like to. A lot of us aren't like super social in real life either, and sure, I want to be whipping my book out and just reading instead while they socialize, but you know, you kind of gotta do the work and engage, you know, because I think the problem here, I mean, now we're just marriage counselors. That's what's happening. Yeah, well, and so that's the theme of this episode. We always end up being a different podcast. Now we're just marriage podcasts, marriage advice podcasts.
But like, I think the bottom line is that like they're being really bad at setting boundaries. Yeah. He shouldn't say read in chunks. Right. He should say, when you're at a social event with me, I don't want you on your phone. Yeah. And then, because she's fixated on he's trying to tell me when I can and cannot read. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's like...
the communication needs to be worked on a little bit on that one. Because, boundaries need to be set better. Yeah. More...
Yeah, like... He needs to set a boundary. It's not about her reading.
Yeah, he's not
it's just
having
about
a
her
problem.
being engaged.
He loves that it sounds like that she's, taking care of her responsibilities, doing a block of time for that, but that's gotten out of hand in a way. Because I would be the same way with my husband if because he loves sports, and I'll have to say, hey, let's put that away. Or like, can you not be so obvious that you're watching the game? Because it's pissing me off, So it kind of goes hand in hand. I'm sure this lady would have some things too that you can always put the foot on the other shoe. And find out how it fits. Oh, wait, I don't like it either. Just like we were talking about with the kid that didn't appreciate his mom's book collection. Like, I'm sure he would want to be doing something else at one of her social events that she'd be like, hey, you're not being engaged. It's kind of not cool,
Yeah. Or like, and who knows? It's like, if you're not really talking about it, then you also don't know. There might be certain situations where like, I wouldn't care if Kanan was on his phone.
Right.
Or he wouldn't care if I was on my phone. But like, hey, this is important to me.
Yeah.
Maybe don't read your book right now.
Yeah.
Or she should say, the other flip side of that setting boundaries thing might be, I don't like going to all those events, so I'm not going to go to all of them anymore. I'll go to one a month. You choose which one you want me to go to.
Yeah, they need to talk.
You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So it's one of those, you got to see how it pans out to see who the a-hole is.
Yeah.
Work together, figure it out, and let us know what you guys think about that one.
Yeah, I'm curious. Yeah. Have you guys had any issues with, I mean, we all want to read all the time, right? Like, if you're a reader, like there's probably tons of social situations where you're like, dang, I really wish I was like at home reading my book right now. Or like, I really want to like, I know for me, I have a really hard time being engaged sometimes with things in real life because I like to have my brain stimulated. Yeah. So like, it's hard for me to like do an activity where I feel like it's just not capturing my attention very well. Like, if I'm watching a movie and it's not interesting to me, then my eyes will just like literally glaze over and I'll just be thinking about the book that I wish that I was reading in my head at that moment, wishing that I could just be reading that instead.
Yeah.
So it's like, I totally understand that. But then at the same time, it's like, if it's being detrimental to your real life, then maybe reassess a little bit.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah.
There we go. All right. Well, thank you guys for that time. That was fun. It is time.
It was fun.
It was. It's good. I like it. We're going to do it again for sure. It is time, though, for our Unhinged Smash or Pass. Do-do-do-do-do, beep, boop, beep. And you insert a song.
Yeah.
Super weird.
Or
Smash or Passes.
you could just sing a new one each time.
Sounds good.
That's fine, too. Yeah. Okay. You want me to go first this time?
Sure. Let's go.
Okay. Are you ready for this?
Never.
It's going to be a toughie.
Never mentally prepared for yours.
Okay. So, smash or pass, resand, but he's only 5 feet tall.
Pass. I mean, come on. I'm only 5'4", but I don't want to be taller than him. Come on. It changes the game. It really does. His wing would pop in my eyeball. I don't want that.
See, this is how important. Anyone who's like, height isn't important. I mean, it is, though. Sorry.
And we're talking fantasy world here, too. So come on. I want what I want, or I don't want it at all.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
What is your answer? You're kind of on the fence with them anyways, huh?
Yeah, I think, well, here's my reasoning, though. So it'd be a smash for me.
Wow.
Yeah,
I wasn't
and I'm
sure
really...
if you would be down for rescind as it is, so...
Yeah, I mean, my logic is this. Like, he's a bat boy with magic, so how could you not give him the opportunity just for the experience within itself? Just to find out what happens.
Yeah. Pass. Yeah. Okay, so for you, Lord of the Rings, okay? The Nazgul.
Oh, I'm going to say smash.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, who knows?
Yeah,
they seem scary, but that's like, we don't really. I mean, I guess we kind of know their story, but like not really, because I also haven't read like all of the extra like Lord of the Rings like from the past kind of books, so I'd have to know more about them. But as it is now, I feel like they might have some really interesting backstories.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
We don't know. But yeah,
For
so
sure.
that's Smash for me. What about you?
Ooh. Smash. Why not? Sure. I like their vibe.
Like,
they got a cool vibe.
They got a cool vibe. They got a
hang out
cool
with them.
outfit. They've got cool horses. I feel
Yeah,
like
their horses are cool.
yeah, they're super cool. I feel like they're super scary. I love that you're like Smash, but when it comes to Reese being short, that's a no for
Pass.
me. Pass.
Changes everything.
Everything.
Welcome to the show that makes no sense, and we just have fun with it.
Vibes.
There you
Just
go.
Flying on vibes.
Flying on vibes. There we go. All right, you guys.
All right.
Thank you for tuning in. And if you would like to vote too, make sure to follow us on Instagram at Besties in the Books Podcast, where you too can vote on your Unhinged Smash or Pass.
So that about wraps up today's episode. Let us know if you liked it because we'll do another one.
Yeah, send us your
And-
possible
yeah.
scenarios, maybe that
Oh my
you've
God,
experienced about, or so you know
We'll include
somebody
it.
that's experienced.
I'll put a little question box up too, like like ones where it's like, am I the a-hole? And then ones where you tell us that you think that someone else is being the a-hole. And I'll do that on Instagram. That'll be funny.
Yeah.
That'll be fun to look through.
Yep.
Cool. So yeah, thank you for being here.
Thank you guys. Make sure to like and subscribe before you go anywhere that you love to listen to your favorite podcast at Besties in the Books Podcast. And you know what we're talking about Instagram. Go follow us on Instagram at Besties in the Books Podcast. Come hang out. You can also follow us on TikTok at Besties in the Books Pod. And you guys, we will see you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday. Bye.